Villefort is 5 years younger. He's 1 inch taller, but Nate James enjoys the 1 inch reach advantage in this fight.
We're scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Out, guys. Ready to fight? Ready. Do it.
I think they're both ready to fight. Looks like Danillo Villefort wanted to be shot out of a cannon here as we get this middleweight contest underway. Danillo Villefort in the red gloves, James in the blue. Referee Herb Dean.
Like you said, Mauro, Villefort looks pretty wound up.
Villefort, another representative of a gym that's suddenly on the MMA map, that being Imperial Athletics. Out of Florida, Mike Van Arsdale, great wrestler in his own right, in his corner. One of his trainers, his brother Marcus Villefort. For Nate James, of course, you talk about an all-star camp, you talk about AKA in San Jose.
You see Villefort almost landed that elbow as James was coming in with his jab. I tell you what, that was sneaky.
Nice kick to the outside of the lead leg of James. James with an inside leg kick of his own.
Villefort has chopped away pretty good with those low kicks, but I think he's setting up a punch by doing that.
Another low kick, and he did come upstairs with a right hand, misses with that overhand right. Counter right from James connects.
Tell you what, that right coming over the top looked like even an elbow. That thing was smoking.
James looking to establish the jab. Follows it up with the overhand right. Misses.
James is being patient here, hopefully to slow down Villefort.
Villefort sneaks the jab through the guard. Again, overhand right by James.
Villefort's striking has improved greatly since I saw him in the UFC. He's really been working on it. There he goes with the left elbow through the middle and then the right over the top. He's attempting them.
He was one and done in the UFC, losing to a guy you know very well, Pat Miletich, Jesse Lennox.
The Ox.
That was at UFC 101 back in August of 2009, but since then, he's rolled over 4 different opponents. And now making a Strikeforce debut against Nate James.
Villefort's doing a lot of talking in there. Better pay attention, quit talking and start fighting a little bit more.
Nate James is really starting to straighten out his punches, which is good.
Ty Plum and a knee from Villefort. Was looking for the throw there. James works the Wizards, pinned up along the fence, looking to block the attempted knee strikes of Villefort, and then sneaks a knee strike in of his own. Dueling knees.
And dueling wrestling versus judo.
You know, that's a Muay Thai clinch that Villefort's using, and that's usually not very effective with wrestlers. We'll see how it works on James. Villefort trying to dig his head in there to control head position, doing a good job of it against a wrestler.
The short chopping knees to the body aren't going to be as effective. He might want to go to the leg with those knees.
Scoring points though, right?
Yeah.
Short uppercuts from James inside, trying to do some dirty boxing, but Villefort has him pinned along the fence as James now just moving down the cage there, and a left hook on the exit from Villefort, but they still stay in the clinch. Knee right to the midsection, and now James able to turn the tables on Villefort.
Yeah, when they went from the Muay Thai clinch into the wrestling clinch.
Oh, and there's a Haregoshi judo throw right into side control. Villefort, nicely done.
You got to keep your hips low with guys that know judo throws. They got to be lower than theirs.
Knee on belly and right to the full mount. Easy transition for Villefort.
This is going to be a problem for James because if he turns over, he could go right into a choke.
Villefort has sick ground skills. That is for sure. You do not want this guy mounted on top of you.
5 of his 13 career wins have been via submission, looking for the ground and pound. Now giving up his back as James, getting the hooks in as Villefort wants to flatten him out. James just looking to block blindly. Now Villefort looking for the Mataleo in Portuguese, the rear naked choke.
Got that hand off. He got the hand control. Good job by James getting out of that. You know, you got to hide your hand deep behind the head if you expect to finish that choke against a guy that knows how to get out of it.
It's been 5 years since Villefort ended a fight with a rear naked choke against Frody Hansen in his native Brazil, a Jungle Fight 6, and that came in the second round, but looking to control, but good defense, as you mentioned, Pat, by James.
Yeah, he's doing a good job controlling the hands. You got to pay attention to hand control when somebody's on your back, and he's even punching a little bit there. He's got to be careful not to get his arm trapped by Villefort's leg, though, because then you've only got one arm to defend the choke.
And it looks like James will survive the opening round as we're headed to round number 2.
Villefort was the more aggressive fighter and looked really good in back control. I've got him winning that first round.
Yeah, the big throw and getting back control won him the round, that's for sure.
You gotta keep being first. You gotta dictate it, right? You don't want to get in the bottom anymore, okay? Nope. You gotta fight for the position in the clinch. All right, you're good. Right, deep breath, deep breath.
Villefort taking the wrestler over here. They spin, boom, gets a hip in, throws the leg across. Beautiful hip toss. Like I said, you've got to keep your hips lower than a judo guy. And Villefort's a very accomplished judo man also, along with jiu-jitsu. There it is, big, beautiful throw. I tell you what, that was nice. Pretty to look at. Here he is attempting the choke. James doing a good job right away, recognizing he had to get that hand off the back of his head where the leverage was being placed.
Back.
A reminder that no one gets you closer to America's #1 spectator sport than Inside NASCAR, Wednesdays at 9, only on Showtime. Round 2 underway. Villefort was in fact supposed to fight Antoine Britt back in June, but suffered a back injury when he tore his muscle while training with Strikeforce heavyweight Antonio Bigfoot Silva. I wonder if he was trying one of those sweeping hip throws on the big boy.
Yeah, when you're not a heavyweight, don't train with heavyweights, especially when their name is Bigfoot.
Of course, Bigfoot Silva going to meet Daniel Cormier in the semifinals of the Strikeforce heavyweight tournament coming up September 10th on Showtime. The other Final 4 matchup sees Josh Barnett battle Sergey Haratonov as Villefort and James continue to battle here in the second stanza.
Wow.
Oh, nice cartwheel.
Little capoeira action here.
Capoeira.
Powerful low kick by James, and yeah, beautiful cartwheel, holy cow.
It looks to me like Danillo Villefort has slowed down a notch in the second round.
Gets tagged with a 1-2 from James, who immediately closes the gap. Low leg kick delivered by Villefort.
James's leg's taking some abuse, though. Villefort's landing the shin bone very well.
Spinning back fist attempt there and a right leg kick to the body by Villefort. So looking to dip into his bag of histrionics here in round 2, Steven.
Yeah, the spinning back fist is a great one-shot solution, but coming out from a distance like that, it's easy to see coming.
Now James wanting to engage Villefort in a slugfest here. A quick exchange. James seems to be getting the better of these exchanges in round 2, Pat.
Yeah, and he's being smart to stay out of those judo-type clinches where he can get launched again.
I think the key for James now is the jab to set everything up.
Body kick from Villefort, jab from James. James really doing a good job of scoring with the jab, needs to follow it up with that right hand. And now Villefort again, this time looking for the almost an Uchimata attempt there. James blocking it, but there's the takedown and right into side control.
James tried that guillotine, and Villefort, being the expert jiu-jitsu guy that he is, was gone. Here he's going to start choking James.
Mid-trajectory, the takedown, he passed the guard right into the
Absolutely,
cross-side
got
position.
out of that beautifully. Good point, Morrow.
James was doing so well standing until he got clinched up.
You know, here you've got to get up. Against this guy, you better get your rear end up off the ground because he's just too smooth on the ground.
Villefort looking to neutralize the right arm. James doing a good job of escaping that position, but in the half guard against the fence now. Villefort again just wanting to put all of his weight on James. James could use the fence now to launch himself off here, looking for a sweep. But Villefort, of course, the BJJ black belt, very cognizant of any of those tricks.
He's working for the arm triangle. You can see it. He's got that head underneath that arm. He's got the left arm underneath the head. He's keeping head pressure on his arm. He's just waiting for the opportunity to finish that arm triangle.
Yeah, but with the fence there, he can't hop over right now, but he's going to go for mount anyway.
Some of the Ultimate Fighter alum taking in the action here at the Pearl at the Palms in Las Vegas. So as James surrenders his back again, Villefort wants to climb up. Oh, the sweat now slipping off, and James finds himself in north-south position, one of the few times he's been in dominant position on the ground.
Risky move by James, but he escaped. Now he's got the back of Villefort.
And Villefort immediately rolls right through. Elbow to James, but James now working from the closed guard.
And James did a beautiful job defending that roll through because Villefort was looking for the leg, and James put his shin bone across Villefort's leg and stopped it.
But very active on the bottom as Villefort, less than 90 seconds remaining in the second round. James, a wrestling standout, training out of American Kickboxing Academy against the grappling guru Danillo Villefort.
Positionally, Villefort has done some really good work, but he hasn't had James close to tapping yet.
Now, there are a lot of people on hand here. Of course, in Las Vegas, you get all kinds of fight royalty. You see in the white dress shirt in the background, Gil Martinez of Extreme Couture sharing a joke with Sugar Ray Cepho. Jay Huron, the Bellator fighter, on hand. So a very knowledgeable crowd taking in the action here at the Pearl of the Palms in Las Vegas.
And the great Murillo Bustamante sitting right behind him.
And KJ Noon is in the mix as well. I mean, it's a who's who.
Yeah, fighters galore here tonight.
That's a pretty tough section.
I don't know if anyone wants to heckle in that section tonight. There's James now sneaking in the right hands on Villefort from the guard. Less than 30 seconds now remaining in the second round. A better round for Nate James.
Elbow to the face. Hard elbow now. Elbow.
Nice work, guys.
Nate James starting to find his mark with those punches from top.
Villefort looking for the armbar from the bottom. Final 10 seconds, some elbows from James. And James looks like he's going to finish the round in top position. We're headed to the third and final round.
Although James did well at the end of that round, I still had Villefort winning because he dominated a larger portion of the section.
I bet the judges gave it to James because he was dominating the end of the round. I'm just a gambling man, Steven.
You could be right, Patrick.
One of the busiest men in combat sports, Jacob Stitch Duran, tending to Danillo Villefort almost did what you did with Marlos Kunin's name there.
Here we see Villefort doing a good job, hitting that takedown, hopping directly across to avoid the guillotine choke. Beautiful position by Villefort, getting out of that. Here's James taking his back, the roll through. Look at how James gets his shin bone across the back of the leg that'll, basically negates that possibility for that leg lock. Smart move by James, countering a beautiful move by Villefort.
And there you have it. KJ Noons to your left, Jay Huron beside him, Gil Martinez, one of the top striking coaches, and of course K1 great Strikeforce fighter Sugar Ray Cepho on the back. Clowning around there is Lawrence Larkin, who will be headlining the next Strikeforce Challengers event here September 23rd from the Pearl at the Palms in Las Vegas. The third and final round underway. Villefort in the red gloves, James in the blue.
Villefort looks a lot more fatigued than James does.
So much energy dominating those first two rounds in the grappling sense.
Nice takedown defense there, but James doing a good job. Went for the jab, immediately shot in, but Villefort read it perfectly.
If I'm James's coaches, I'm seeing the fatigue out of Villefort, and I'm saying keep it standing and rough him up.
Try and catch him in the body with a knee or a front kick.
James enjoying himself now, smiling at Villefort, saying, yeah, come on, let's get it going. James wanting to get busy with the striking here. Nice combinations, catches Villefort on the chin. Villefort dropping his hands as if to say, you don't scare me. Nice knee to the midsection from the Brazilian.
If James has a right roundhouse kick to the head, now would be the time to throw it.
What do you think about the showmanship of Villefort, Pat, here? I mean, do you want to be doing this in the final round?
No, the judges aren't looking at that. They're looking at somebody that's fighting.
Villefort gets the double leg takedown, puts James on his back, but can James get back up to his feet? That's the question.
Look at how Villefort's trying to step over and figure four those legs so they can get to the mount. Now deciding to move on to cross side and stay tight. James horsing him over, hits.
Oh, almost a nice reversal there, but now Villefort looking for the choke.
James has got to fall on his left hip and roll and spin out of this. You don't want to stay what's called down in the well on the wrong side of your opponent's body.
An attempt at an arm-in guillotine by Villefort.
Don't step back in. Ooh, got his head out. Amazing.
James escapes. And the elbow strike from the bottom, so James now in the open guard of Danillo Indio Villefort. Brother Marcus, a mixed martial artist. His father, a Vale Tudo legend. And Pat, you and Steven, you as well. The Vale Tudo stories. I mean, anything goes in Portuguese. There were some brutal fights in Brazil.
Yeah, a lot of great fights down in Brazil in the day. And, man, I tell you what, I was scared to death to think I might end up down there fighting bare knuckle. No way.
Yeah, with headbutts and punching and elbowing behind the head, 30-minute rounds. It's crazy.
Of course, the UFC returning to Brazil for the first time since 1998 later this month, and we hope you're enjoying Strikeforce Challengers action here on Showtime. Mauro Ranallo along with Pat Miletich and the fight professor Stephen Quadros. You are watching middleweight action between Danillo Indio Villefort and Nate James.
James is wearing him out right now. He's keeping the pressure on and non-stop punching for the most part. Villefort, in my mind, don't you think, is fading a little bit, Stephen?
Oh, yeah, he's been fading the last 2 rounds, actually. But he was last burst of energy in that second round to take it. But in this one, he's losing the round. But I think that James needs more of an exclamation point here to get things done, because I don't think he's going to win the decision if he wins the round.
Less than 2 minutes remaining in the fight. Villefort working off his back. James looking to ground and pound from the guard.
It's a static position. Herb Dean is waiting for any opportunity if they slow down, and there it is. He's going to stand him back up.
I think that suits James just fine.
It does.
James again lands the jab. Villefort with the knee, tie plum, and another knee up the middle. Villefort, oh, nice back elbow from Villefort, but James now dropping levels, looking for the takedown, and gets it.
Putting Danillo Villefort back on the floor. James is going to continue grinding, but is it going to be enough? He needs a finish here.
James is imposing his will, that's for sure.
Last minute of this middleweight contest. Nate James and Danillo Villefort.
I think if it stays the way it is, James did enough in round 2 to win it, having won the latter part of the round, and then has obviously done enough in this round to win this one. If it stays this way, he's up 2 rounds to 1 in my mind.
It was interesting that Villefort said that his judo background, and we saw glimpses of that early in the fight, would keep him from being taken down. That has not been the case against Nate James, who, again, was a 3-time All-American wrestler at Lindenwood University in St. Charles, Missouri.
Yeah, it's easier said than done staying off your back against a 3-time All-American wrestler.
Especially when fatigue is filtering in.
Final 10 seconds of the fight. Nate James in top position, raining down right hands, now left hands, wanting to send a message to the judges as we are going to the scorecard.
Well, that's a real cliffhanger we've got here, because Nate James definitely won that round. That second round was the one in debate. Patrick has Nate James winning it. I've got Danillo Villefort winning it.
Yeah, I think James did enough to win the fights. Just I'm thinking how the judges score fights.
Right.
I think James is going to pull it out.
Well, guys, when summer turns to fall, guess what? It's time to start thinking football. You can join James Brown, Phil Simms, Chris Collinsworth, and Warren Sapp as they break down the National Football League on the award-winning Inside the NFL. Catch the season premiere Wednesday, September 7th, right here on Showtime. Football is back.
Yeah, and I'm pretty happy about it. You know what? I've always wanted to meet James Brown. Maybe someday, having worked for Showtime for a while, I might get that opportunity.
I've had the opportunity. Very tall man, and as tall as he is, that's how nice he is.
Yeah, but you're pretty short.
Well, so we agreed to disagree on this one, Pat. I got Villefort, and you've got James.
See what happens here. There's Villefort on top. James is saying yes to his corner about horsing him over. Almost gets him there, and they slip. Comes up to his knees, and here's the guillotine. He's trapped down in the well. A lot of times guys do not get out of this move, especially when you've got a talented Brazilian stretching your neck. Villefort throwing the knees, man. I tell you what, that one barely missed. That one missed also. He was looking to try and score the knockout. There's the elbow, though. Compliments of Anderson Silva in England one time when he won by knockout that way.
I was there for that fight at Cage Rage against Tony Strickland.
Oh, you had to remind me. I wasn't going to bring up Tony Fricklin. Let's find out who won this one. Let's go up to Danny.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go to the scorecard. Judge Bird scored the bout 30-27. Judge Trowbridge and Judge Smith scored the bout 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Nate James.
Nate James picking up a win. Congratulations.